Hello, Namaste, Kuzazam Pula. A very warm welcome to each one of you on this music online session. Continuing our classes for the instrument, today we have Tabla. We shall be learning basics about Tabla. We shall be learning some basics about the instrument, and very important, we'll be playing and learning the very first and beginning stage Tal. Kindly let me know in the comment if I am audible and visible clearly. So let me start with three omkars and then straight to the tabla topic. Om. 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 So, dear students, we have taken tabla today. The tabla is not a new instrument. It's a very traditional old instrument of Indian classical music. तबले को बहुत पहले से शास्त्रीय संगीत में यूज़ किया जा रहा है, इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है. तबले के बारे में कहा जाता है कि पखावज से इसकी उत्पत्ति हुई है. द ओरिजिनेशन ऑफ दिस इंस्ट्रूमेंट हैज़ कम फ्रॉम पखावज. I can see a comment of Mr. Panchanand Thakurji. Thank you for joining. Tabla is often used in just not only in our classical music, but also in all sorts of semi-classical, bhajan, ghazal, geet, sugam sangeet, and more importantly in film music. Tabla is a very common and very known instrument. Coming to the structure and the material which is used for tabla. So in tabla we usually keep two very important parts. One is the baya, which is the bass drum, and daya, which is the sharper tone. All these, both of these have together played, and then only the sound of tabla can come. Tabla cannot be played only with right hand or only with the left hand with the program as a part of a concert. No, you do have to play together. You can see there are almost same structures, though this looks little bigger, this looks little smaller. Since I am a right-hander, I'll be keeping my smaller size of the tabla, which is called daya, on my right side, and the left hand, which is the bass drum, on the left side. Now, very important, how do we produce the sound? So this is all made up of the skin, or basically processed leather. Now this can be made sometimes from cow, buffalo, sometimes even from the goat, and very rarely made up by deer skin. So once this skin has been put up here, it would be tied up with these threads. You can see the threads. These are called baddi, and the front structure is called the chati. I would request all my students to kindly write it down on your notebooks. So the chati is being tied up with the thread, which is called baddi. In the chati, we have three different parts. Number one, the outer ring, which is a kind of a lock between the thread and the chati. The second ring is called the main cover or the main skin of the tabla where we will be playing it. The third skin is called where we put the shahi. Now this black thing which you see on the both tabla and daya and baya is called shahi. So shahi is made up by few chemicals, few iron small crushed pieces, and once they put up here, it has to be rolled down for the smoothness. So it is just like a paste. I think someone has sent me a request. Let me take them in. Sure. Let me see who wants to join. Yes. Hello. Namaste. Who is this? I think he just got it cut. Maybe some internet issue. Anyone who wish to join can always send me the request. Okay. So coming back to the tabla. So this is called the shahi. Now, when we play with our fingers is also very important. It depends on what kind of sound we want to produce. If I play only with one finger, the sound will be different. If I play with two fingers, the sound will be different. And if I play with full hand, the sound will be different. So it also depends which fingers, how many fingers you're using to play in Daya and Baya both, and also where exactly you're playing. So if I play here with this finger, the sound will be different. Here the sound will be different, and here again the sound will be different. So this is all a very basic structure, very basic knowledge about the tabla and the daya and the baya. Now, as far as the tuning of this instrument is concerned, it can be tuned throughout all the 12 swaras. That means all the 12 pitches. For the male pitches, usually used for C sharp, D sharp, D. For female pitches, it is usually tuned between G sharp to A sharp, sometimes B also. So tuning will never be a problem. It comes in all 12 Shrutis. And many students who were already the part of our Nehru Wangchuk Cultural Center and they were coming and learning, I'm sure if they are watching this video now, uh, they are very known to all kinds of instruments, especially the tabla, the structure of tabla, the basics of tabla. The last thing which I can add before I start playing in front of you and show you how it sounds, you do have to take care of these instruments a lot. They are very sensitive, especially in our this condition at present, what we have here in Thimphu, which is very rainy, very humid at the same time, So at this season, it has to be taken care of at most. You need to make sure that you cover it with lots and lots of dry paper or some very good covers or magazine, something, it should be covered and well put up in the box. Otherwise, the skin is so very much sensitive that it will get either loose or it will lose its tune. Either it will also remove, it will leave the black shahi, the black place on your hands. It will happen always. So always you must have seen, just to add this point, you must have seen many tabla players will always add some, take some, powder in their fingers before playing it. So that is the only reason, to make it dry always. It should not be wet. So no more talking. I think we can start playing. Let me show you how it sounds exactly. Together, if I play, it will sound something like. also for the light music, it sounds like so we can obviously play as many kinds of tals we want. We can play some, some basic rhythm structures, what we play in drums, what we play in other percussion instruments. So all kinds of rhythm, all kinds of tals can be played here. But with the regulations, with the rules, and within the frame of what we need to actually play and make out the sound from tabla. If you only want to play a drum on tabla, it's impossible. But maybe the same rhythm, the same pattern can be used. Anyway, so I'm going to play now a lehra. A lehra is something which is called nagma, which will set as a cycle of 16 beat or 14 beats, sometimes 7 beats. Today I'm using a lehra nagma of 16 beats, which is a slower tempo, and I'll be playing the tal which is called teen tal. So right now I'm playing the syllable or the bolts of tabla. Now let me also recite at the same time when I'm playing so that you can understand it well. Ha, dhin, dhin, ha, ha, dhin, dhin, ha, ha, dhin, dhin, ta, ta, 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 dhin, dhin. So improvisations. So you can follow the nagma in your head, and then I'll be playing some improvisation. So this is a small qaida which I am playing. Dha tit dha tit dha da tit dhage tinna kena ta tit ta tit ta tit dhage dinna gena. Now the same kind of qaida can be played in double speed in a one five of the speed, one third of the speed. Depends on how what kind of improvisation you want to do. So such kind of speeds can be played. So the only homework which I'll be happy to give you today would be kindly listen to as much tabla as you can on internet, whichever platform, YouTube or whatever best you have at your home. Kindly listen to it and search as many tabla plays as you can. Kindly listen to tabla music so that be into that atmosphere before you come here and start learning. I'm sure many of you must have learned some kaidas as well. So for those, I'm sure they can just keep on practicing, and once they come here offline, I'll be able to teach them some new kaidas and different things. So if you have any doubts, anything if you wish to ask, kindly let me know. I'll be happy to answer. So I see there are no new comments. I think we can end up our session here today, and see you all soon tomorrow. Kindly practice and we'll continue the tabla class tomorrow. Namaste.